Okay, so I guess we're all aware of the strange times we live and working at the moment. Can you give us just a little bit of idea of what you're seeing in terms of the impact that's had on companies' IT infrastructures, whether it's office-based or clearly lots of people are working in remote locations at the moment?
Yeah, Phil, well, I guess ourselves being in the managed service provider and cloud market, we've seen quite an upturn and surge in demand. If we go back to March, when lockdown happened and working from home directives came in from the government, there was clearly quite a bit of a panic that ensued. We can all remember the pictures, and maybe some of us experienced what it was like in the supermarkets, with the panic buying. Well, actually, that was very similar when you were trying to buy laptops and notebooks, for our customers. In fact, the 20th of March was quite a day because we were struggling to get any laptops or notebooks for our customers. And that was from all of the UK distribution, channels, West Coast, Tech Data, Insight, you name it. Nearly all of them had no laptops and notebooks in their warehouses, and we're not waiting for any supplies either for some weeks after that. So there was quite a bit of a panic, and companies were trying to mobilize as quickly as possible. And in some instances we had clients needing 150 to 160 laptops in one go. So it wasn't an insignificant operational challenge, for that period of time. At the same time all that was going on, obviously some companies were thinking about deploying home working and not giving any company devices and expecting employees to log on using their own sort of bring your own device kind of concept. And that brings challenges as well. So we saw maybe 300% increase in support calls for about 4 to 6 weeks. So yeah, it was quite a challenge during that period. And I sort of had the same kind of feedback from other partners that we know well in the managed service and cloud sector. So we weren't alone in all of this. So we knew that we were the same as many.
And I guess you obviously you've talked a bit there about specifically the laptop situation, but I guess managed services and cloud more generally, people have realized, particularly again with this home working situation, that that's a particularly good way of accessing IT resources that they need when they're remote from their office locations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been trying to advise our customers for many years that when they were looking at desktop refreshments, is to look at laptops or notebooks. Not all of our clients, took that advice because they felt at the time that, replacing it with a desktop was going to be the way to go. They didn't have really home working kind of policies in place. And I guess very few companies foresaw the kind of pandemic that came about. So they were caught short, certainly. I think moving forward, I think businesses now, when they're looking at desktop refreshments, I would hazard a guess that most will bend towards laptops and notebooks and have that kind of mobility in play. And the way things are panning out as well is that we've seen, whether it's in the news or whether it's proper insight from what we're getting information from, is that the work from home kind of way that people will be operating could be the way it is moving forward. And we're hearing property management companies claiming percentages of only maybe 30% returning into city centre operations. So it's going to be an interesting time over the next few years to see what the landscape looks like from working from home and generally working mobile.
So as you've alluded to there, it's fair to say that what started out as sort of almost a panic situation, we got to do something. You think longer term people are going to work out some kind of hybrid strategy, and without getting political, I know that the politicians are pushing us all to go back to work, so we buy our lunchtime sandwiches and all that. But it's maybe there is a, you know, a sea change that, as you say, whether it's rents in city locations for office space and stuff, yeah, there may well be some serious disruption as to, you know, long-term working practices.
Yeah, I think so. And even early on, I mean, we're only, what are we now, 4 months into this pandemic. And I think we're going to be in it for another 12 months at least before we start to see any potential return to what was, I mean, guess what we class as normality before the pandemic. But I'm getting a sense, even with my own workforce, that there's quite a large percentage who are quite happy to be working from home. I think it's suiting their lifestyle. I think it's bringing a sense of greater well-being without that commute and that travel added to their, you know, their 8, 9 or 10 hour day, what they would normally typically do. And so, you know, I think it will be a while before I actually see some of our employees in our own business. So I may just have the benefit of seeing them via, you know, a Skype or Zoom or whatever conference facility that businesses have. That will be our touch point.